Hey, been a crazy few couple days. Tomorrow I need to definitely contact UPS because when all the madness was going on, 2020, I just happened to work for them. I wanted to work another job to get out of the city of Philadelphia, and this is all going on around the time Walter Wallace was shot. I worked for UPS for I think like a week, maybe two. And I just had enough of it. I was 25. No car, no license, nothing. Um, yeah, that was my life. And I successfully got out of Philly. I just got to work on the be successful part. But anyway, yesterday was Valentine's Day, if you don't know. And this story out of California, I want to refresh people's mind on because I know a little bit about the story. It only caught my attention because my seventh grade teacher, Miss Weatherly, we had religion class one day, and she talked about the story through the newspaper. She talked about it. She's talking about how a boy with high heels and makeup on, he was shot by his classmate. And I heard about it when she said it. And then like a few years later, ABC's 2020 plays a story on it. And I'm like, I think I know about this story. We talked about it in the seventh grade. This 2008. Now 2008, that Valentine's Day was a bad day for. I had a brother. I have a brother now. We don't really talk, but he was attacked on the SEPTA Orange Line. I believe it was a trolley. He had to go to the hospital because he was attacked. They wanted to take, at the time, if you know about Razor phones, I think he had either a Razor phone by Motorola or like a Dash Blueberry phone. That's like 2000. That's the 2000s for you. He had to go to the hospital. He had to go to CHOP, and he had to stay there overnight. And that happened on Valentine's Day. And that very day, they had like a dance, like a eighth grade, like a seventh grade dance. They have those little dances, either like around October, and they have like Valentine's Day. And I went to the one in October, but I didn't go to the one in Valentine's Day because I didn't want to like look, I didn't want to be out of place because I wasn't popular in class, if you could tell. But back to the story. It was a 15-year-old. I know a lot about the story. 15-year-old boy who's half black, half white. He just left his adopted father's care. He's now in a group home because his adopted father, is accused of physically abusing him, and he lost custody. Now, the adopted father is white. He's half black, half white. If you ever watched the movie Antoine Fisher, you know that in the foster care system, that's like the next best thing for a liberal or like a very just obsessed with like the features of a mulatto parent. Like they love mixed race um children. They adopt them first before someone of my color. And I don't care about that because no one wants to be in foster care at all. I don't really care if I am adopted last. But I want to just say that I don't feel like hearing that. This is why I say I don't feel like people that are mixed race, you can just classify them as black. I don't classify Barack Obama as being black. He is a product of a interracial relationship, but he was raised by his white mother. It's like this kid right here, Larry King. He's the product of two drug addicts who had a child, but he was raised by a white man and probably lived in a white group home, went to a white school. So it's like culture wise, you are more of that than being black. Because that's why I say it's very confusing at times. This is why, you know, I know what I am. I know what culture I like. and the people I'm around. I mean, I'm very critical of black culture, but get back to the story. He's a product of a interracial, relationship, put in a group home, and one of his classmates, that he had a crush on, named Brandon, he asked him to be his Valentine. Now, Brandon was asked this by Larry in front of all his friends. Everybody made fun of him. They were saying how Larry and Brandon are going to have gay babies together. And Brandon couldn't take it anymore. So he told one of Larry's girlfriends, that say goodbye to your friend Larry because you're not going to see him anymore. And the next day, during computer class, they were typing up their assignments. He pulled out a gun he got from, I believe, his father or somebody in the family. And he shot Larry in the head. And I think the teacher, first word, she said, "What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?" And he just walked out of the classroom. He was eventually apprehended by police. And he was sentenced to, when I saw the story on 2020, the trial was going on, he was eventually sentenced to 21 years in prison. I believe they credited the time he already served, the 3 years in juvenile. So he's about the same age as me now. Larry would have been 30. Me and Larry's birthday are close together. All of our birthdays. Brandon's is, I think, is like the end of July, the end of January. Larry's is like the 15th. So basically, he's going to get out in another, I believe, like 5 years. Since it's like 15 years since the anniversary. Yeah, 6 years we're looking at. He'll be out of jail. And honestly, I looked at both sides, and let me just tell you what I think. So let me go back into Larry. I'm going to do a part 2 to this. So Larry, in my opinion, because he was only 15 at the time, if he was still alive today, because everything has changed now, people are more accepted. They accept people that are different, gender-wise now. Because this is like sexuality, this is gender expression. I want to just say this. They say how the brain doesn't mature until the age of 25. So does that apply to people's sexual identity as well? Can you establish what you are sexually at 15? Because he talked about how he wanted a sex change and he wanted his teacher to call him Letitia. She said, "I'm not going to do that." Now, if she would have said that now, she probably would have been disciplined. But since it was 2008, it's fine. But yeah, she even gave Larry one of her kids' dresses that she wore to the prom, and she got fired. She was now working at like a store because they fired her because she sort of enabled the a lot of the stuff Larry wanted to do, like dress like a woman, wear makeup, everything. And I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. I personally believe that, because I remember I read a lot about the story like years ago, like over a decade ago. I remember it pretty good. It's a little too young. If he was not like having sex at 15, that's what gay is. When you have sex with the same sex, if he never had any kind of sexual contact with another man, I would not classify him as gay. A lot of people say that he doesn't know what, a lot of adults were saying that he didn't know what being gay was. He just wanted attention. I don't think that either. I think that he was very effeminate as a child, and that's who he was. So everybody, I don't really think he knew at his age what being gay was. I feel like he was very effeminate. He was an effeminate boy. And